Yo guys, welcome back to another Cold Wild the Angler video. Now in today's video, it's going to be an up-to-date beginner's guide because as you all know, there's been a lot of updates and add-ons and additions added to the game since the release of the game. So there's been a lot of new beginners coming into the game, into streams, into our comment section, asking questions regarding tips for new beginners. And when you think about it, the game's changed so much since release. So here it is, a beginner's guide for the new player's guide. So sit back, enjoy the rest of the video, and I'll catch you in stream next time, guys. Peace. Right, so as you all know, the first map you're going to start on is going to be Golden Ridge Reserve, which is the DLC, which is the map that came with the base game Cold Wild the Angler. Now, there's multiple DLCs you can buy, but I would highly recommend checking out Golden Ridge Reserve, doing some exploring and experiencing the game before committing to buy the new maps. The new maps are fantastic, though, believe me. So, after you've joined the game, you guys will be doing the tutorial. Now, I can't redo the tutorial because I've already done it. But you have to do the tutorial, which takes place just up in this little lake here. Super easy to do. Then after you've done the tutorial, you will be making your way down to the starter outpost, which is here on the map. This yellow icon here with a house. This is your starter outpost. And the next thing that I'd highly recommend you guys doing is coming over to this challenge board. So the shop's there. Come over to this challenge board here, and I'm sure it's either there or there. And it'll say Taylor's Tackle Academy. And it's a set of missions you can do, which helps you explore the map. It talks through the mechanics of the game. It gets you used to exploring and fishing, basically. And I highly recommend completing your Taylor's Tackle Academy before doing anything else. Right, guys, after you've finished doing your Taylor's Tackle Academy and you've got used to the game and you've explored the game a little bit, unlocking your outposts, blah, 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 all the rest of the stuff, we're now going to talk through the sections in the map. So if you open your map up, you've probably already done this for your Taylor's Tackle Academy. If you open your map up here, you can see in the top left-hand corner it says Challenges. Now, I've already selected my challenges for this week and dailies and weeklies. So what you do, you come onto your first dailies and you have 24 hours to complete these. So it says species, lake trout. I've got to catch 7 lake trout, being in a minimum rank of silver, and I get 837 XP for doing that. Now, the way that you accept these is you click on them and it'll come up with a little prompt here saying, do you want to select this weekly? Just select yes. And you've got quite You've got quite a few to select through your dailies. Now, you've also got your weekly challenges, which give more XP, but more fish and a bigger weight to catch. But they really are worth doing. Now, you have your dailies and your weeklies on every map. So if you do have multiple DLCs, I'd highly recommend doing your weeklies and your dailies on both maps. If you can get on every day and do your dailies, a fantastic way to progress through the game. If not, try and get a few of your dailies done throughout the week and try and complete them weeklies. Right, the next thing we're going to have a quick brief talk through is the map. Now, as you can see, there is different color icons on the map, and the ones that you really want to be interested in are the trailheads, which are the fast travel points. So can you see the little icons with a man with a backpack on? If you click on these, you can fast travel to these icons, but first you have to go and find them yourself. So you can either do that via driving around or driving on a boat. Get next to the trailhead, it'll appear on the map to fast travel. And that's why Taylor's Tackle Academy is so good, because it has you exploring the map. Complete Taylor's Tackle, you end up having to go to different parts of the map and catch certain fish. You'll unlock the map in that way. A really good thing to look for as well is the fish icons. These appear, I think, once you've explored around the map a little bit more. But if you hover over these fish icons, it tells you in the top left-hand corner, fish in the area. So it says we've got Ori trout, rainbow trout, mountain whitefish, brook trout, and cutthroat trout within this, within that area. So it gives you a brief explanation what sort of fish you're going to find in that area. The next tab is the backpack tab. Wow, if you guys think I did that first date, you're crazy. So this is the backpack tab, and this is very simple. It just tells you what you've got in your backpack, being your baits, your rods, and your reels. Very similar to the gear tab. Now, you'll learn how to set a rod up during your tutorial, but if you do have any questions regarding setting rods up, jump into streams from myself or Caitlin, Brobra, Crow, ProXCK, Darth Sloan, some fantastic content creators out there that can help you out with any questions you've got regarding setting your rods up, but it's fairly self-explanatory. If you wanted to set up, I'll just take this rod down for a second. So if I want to set up a float rod, I click on the float fishing rig, then click on the rod icon here, and it'll only give me the rods I can use. You can't see because my webcam's in the way, but it'll only give me the rods that I'm allowed to float fish with. So I can select my Devil's Advocate, move on to the reel. Can you see some of them are grayed out and some of them I can click? That means that's a float fishing rod. So I click my Pure Champion. Same with the line. It only lets you have the line that can fit on the spool. So if all of these tabs are grayed out for you, that means that your line's too thick for the reel. The next one is the journal, and this is where you're going to find your missions that you've got selected from the missions board, which I'll talk through in a minute. But once you've selected the missions, they'll all appear here on the left-hand side. Now you can see the ones with the yellow tick means I've completed these missions. So these are all your missions you can select. Same with the tutorial missions. That's when you've completed all your tutorial missions. Taylor's Tackle Academy, Beginner's Class Challenge 1, Class 2. They're all there anyway. So once you've completed your Taylor Tackles Academy, you'll get this. And a really, really important one that a lot of people miss is the game guide. There's actually a guide in the game that talks you through every single thing you need to know. So you've got your basic controls here. Now, it might be different from you guys if you're playing controller, but it tells you how to drive a boat, drive a car, float fish, your hook sizes, other ways of finding fish. It scrolls down. There's more and more and more to look through, guys. One that you really, really want to have a little look through is the one that says hook size. Now, you can't see it because my webcam's in the way, but there. The one you really want to look through and read is the hook sizes guide. That gives you some really, really good information. Guys, while we're on the hook sizes, let me just talk through this really, really quickly. So the fish in the game have different classes. So every fish species in the game you can catch as a juvenile, which is the smallest variation of that fish. So for instance, say we're catching largemouth bass. You can catch a juvenile largemouth bass, which is a very small one. You then go from juvenile to bronze, silver, gold, and diamond. Diamond being the biggest of that fish you can catch. And that is all depending on, not all depending, but you can hurry that up in a way or help yourself catch some kind of fish with hook sizes. Now, if you are interested on learning the hook sizes for the Golden Ridge Reserve and Norway, we do have guides on the channel for them. So I'd highly recommend just going on the channel, going onto our Cold Wild the Angler playlist and looking through the guides there, guys. That'll explain the hook sizes. But before you do that, read this hook size. It'll take you 2 minutes to read these, and it will help you out a bunch. Now, the handbook. This is why this game is. There's so much replayability in this game, because every time you catch a fish, if you catch your biggest fish of that variety, it updates your handbook and tells you. So my best largemouth bass is 9.89 pounds. I've still not brought that 10 pound mark, but as you can see, I've had a diamond largemouth bass that weighs 9.89 pounds. Gosh, English is hard today. So this handbook just talks you through and just shows you all the different fish species you can catch on Golden Ridge Reserve. And let me tell you, some of these models for these fish, not just on Golden Ridge Reserve, as far forward as South Africa, the new DLC that's just come out this year. And if you're picking a certain fish, if you've got a certain fish species that you want to target in the game, one thing that does help. So if you can see here, if I hover over and click on the largemouth bass, you can see in the bottom right hand corner it says traits, inspect, or cancel. So if you click F for traits, if you're on PC, it'll tell you what button to press if you're on console. But if I press F for traits, it then tells me and gives me a little bit of an idea what these fish are about. So it says it's aggressive, goes directly for without striking or nibbling. So when you're fishing for these guys, if you're float fishing for the largemouth bass, say with some redworm or a minnow, some fish will give you an indication with your float. You'll hear a little jingle in your ear, like a bell icon, and your float will bounce a few times. Now you might hear that icon 2 or 3 times before it throws up the strike indicator for you to hit the strike button. But when it says aggressive, these go directly for a strike without nibbling, so they can just catch you off guard. Sometimes it'll just grab the hook straight away, and you'll have to strike it straight away. So be careful with a fish like that. This is also jumping, so it likes jumping out of the water, so you can visually see where these fish are. Last stand. When close to getting caught, it fights with renewed vigor. I don't even know what that means. I'm sure that means that it fights harder towards the end of the fight. A sun lover, more active after the sun rises. Now, this is one thing you need to take note of. Some fish prefer nighttime, some fish prefer daytime. So, for instance, the largemouth bass prefers the daytime. But if we go over to the shovelnose sturgeon and press F for traits, these are night owls, which means more active at night. So you want to be looking out for them. It tells you there, bottom lurkers. So if one says it's a bottom lurker, fish on the bottom for it with a ledger. You can still catch them with a float, but it just gives you a little bit of an idea what the fish are about. So once you've had a look at the traits and you've decided, I want to go and catch some largemouth bass, if you press tab instead, inspect, it brings up its habitat where you're going to find it. You're going to find the largemouth bass, lakeshore, shallow lakes, upriver, river mouth, river wetlands, and the baits and lure preferences starting from its favourite to its least favourite. But believe me, you'll still catch largemouth bass with a spinner just as much as you're catching with a popper. So if you try any one of these baits here, you will catch a largemouth bass if you're in the right area. But remember, the hook size is crucial, because you don't want to be using a 4-aught hook for the largemouth bass. But once again, after you've watched this video, go and check our hook guide out for Golden Ridge Reserve, and that'll explain every hook size for every single fish out here. Right, one thing that I did miss that was fairly crucial, I didn't know I missed this out until I was editing the video, so I've had to jump back in here and just explain this to you, because this is a very crucial thing. This is one of the latest updates. We've been able to, as of a couple of weeks ago, maybe it was a month ago, but there's been a DLC that came out with bait boats that has the option to take a thing called a lake mixture out, which I'll show you what it is. It is these here. So these are lake mix. I've got different ones. So I've got natural boilies, I've got high impact, and I've got a lake mix, which is like a ground bait. So once you put these baits out, it then attracts certain fish into that area, and I'll show you what I mean. So we'll take the largemouth bass once again. We've been using the largemouth bass a lot today, but we'll do it once again. So if you go into inspect and it brings up the list of baits, can you see here it says lake mix? That is a ground bait. We call them ground bait in the UK. I don't know what you guys call them, but we call it ground bait in the UK. So it says lake mixture. So what you do then is you equip the lake mixture in the shop, in the storage section. Make sure it's in your backpack. You come over to the place you're fishing. You press Q on mouse and keyboard. There'll be a button for it on console, and can you see the hand icon here? I don't have the bait boat DLC, but you can just throw them out or catapult them out. So you select your bait you want to put out. So it's lake mixture, which is this one for the largemouth bass. And once you've selected it, all that you do once you've selected the bait is you hold, and the little bar goes up on the bottom. It then releases it, and it'll throw it out, and it has a timer. The little yellow timer around the ground bait out there is telling you how long it's attracting them fish to that area. You will then float fish over the top of that, or even chuck lures over the top of that, guys. And that's a crucial addition to the game. And it changes for every fish. So every fish likes different ones. So for instance, if we went to shovel nose sturgeon, what do they like? They like hot dogs. Oh, match blend here. Can you see it says match blend? So that's the ground bait that the sturgeon likes. So if you're fishing for sturgeon at night time, you want to be throwing out some match blend or sending it out on the bait boat. Now the DLC that came, the bait boat DLC, is a nice addition to the game. It's up to you whether you buy it or not. I've not bought it yet because I've not been playing too much recently, but I'm going to end up getting it and having a little mess with the bait boats. But you can, without buying the DLC, you can just throw them out. The last thing we're going to talk about super quickly is the Legendaries. Now, one thing that I would highly recommend is joining the official Discord servers, because these, I don't know how to explain these Legendaries. So these Legendaries appear on the map once a week. I think it's Thursday morning for me, is it? It might be Thursday morning in England that they change over. So in Golden Ridge Reserve, there's Goldstein the bass, there's Big Larry the catfish, and there's also Sidewinder the lake trout. So these are all Legendaries fish. You can catch these once a week per map, and they rotate randomly. Every Thursday they'll change. Now, when you're fishing, say for instance, Big Larry's in rotation and the Legendary of the week is Big Larry. Now, he can appear in certain locations of the map. So I've caught Big Larry down here. I know you can catch Big Larry down up here. So every week his location will change and the Legendary will change. But the best way to be is the official Discord servers. The guys get out there. They find out where this guy, where the Legendary is, and they post it in there, letting you know, we've caught the Legendary, it's in this location. You guys can then get out there and go and catch him for yourself. Right, while we're talking about the Legendaries, every time you catch a goldfish, you gather a token. So I'm back at the starter outpost at the shop where you guys will go to after you've done the tutorial. So you come over to this, I'll show you where we are. So that's the mission board. You come over to the Tailor's Tackle here, and you can buy things from this lady here. Be it, this is where you buy your equipment, all your rods and your reels and your lines. This is where you buy everything. You can buy clothes, you can change the skins on your vehicle. But one thing we're going to talk through today is the local souvenir. So you see down here, it says that's a gold token, that's a diamond token, that's a legendary token. Now, every time you catch a fish that's a gold scoring fish, so it starts as a juvenile, bronze, silvers, golds, diamonds for every fish species. So when you guys catch a gold, it adds one gold token to your count here. Catch a diamond, it adds one diamond counting to your, adds one diamond token to your counter here. And same with the legendaries. Now I've had a lot more than this, but I spend that. You have to spend the legendary tokens and gold tokens. I'll show you what I mean here. So you go into an equipment here. If you want one of these rods, this rod will cost you 5 gold tokens, 700 coins, as you can see in this here. 5 gold tokens, 700 coins to buy this. But the further down the list you get, the more reputation points you have to have. So these little gold star icons here are what we call reputation. And at the minute, I've got 775 reputation points in the top right-hand corner here. So if I wanted to buy the True Mediator, which is the best bait casting lure out there at the minute. I think I have to have 1,000 rep, 40 gold tokens, 4 diamond tokens, 5 legendary tokens. Now, to get your reputation, you then have to go, move it out my way. There's something there. You then have to go over to your mission boards, complete all the missions on your... Excuse me. No, thank you. You have to go over to the mission board here, complete all the missions here. Then you can head out to... There's another outpost somewhere down the bottom, down here. And there's another challenge board there to do. And go to all the little dots around the map, and there'll be little challenges for you to do there. One thing, once again, that I do recommend, if you are wanting to gather reputation so you can buy a high-end gear, is go and search Darth Sloan on YouTube, and he has got some fantastic guides for the mission. It covers every single mission on Golden Ridge Reserve. Give him a little sub, tell him we said hello. Fantastic content creator and some fantastic guides, guys. At an hour to do that, I kept messing up and stuttering. Listen, if I've missed anything, let me know in the comment section. Jump into a stream, say hello, jump into our Discord, ask some questions. There's some really good content creators out there. I'll just wrap a few of them off. We've got myself, we've got Caitlin on YouTube, Brobra, Crow, ProXCK, fantastic YouTuber out there that puts out some real good angler content. Darth Sloan being one of them. If you're looking at doing your missions, guide, if you're looking at doing your missions, get out there and follow Darth Sloan, guys. He has some fantastic stuff out there. I'll try and put the links to all of their channels in the description, but I hope the video helped. Get out there and catch some fish. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a little like, comment, consider subscribing, and go and checking out all the rest of the guys we have on the channel, guys. Enjoy the rest of your night. Catch you all in stream next time. Peace.